So we're up at Riley's Garden Centre today, and it's a lovely day for barbecue in November.
As always.
So it's Sam Brand, and you're famous sort of being cyclist, but famous for being the Manx Diabetic Cyclist. And today is World Diabetes Awareness Day. So let's start with the barbecue, actually. Go on, tell us about the barbecue. What's behind it?
So actually, as you say, I'm a professional cyclist living with diabetes. I ride for Team Novo Nordisk, which is the world's first all-diabetes professional cycling team. We've got 18 riders around the world riding with the condition, and with Traeger I'm their ambassador. So Traeger is the pellet fired barbecue, and you know, with sport, with diabetes and life in general, you know, it's all health focused. So with Traeger I tried to show that a barbecue isn't just burgers and hot dogs in the summer. You know, I use mine pretty much 365 to make sort of day-to-day food. So today we've got cooking up some chicken and some veg, which is basically just a tray bake that I put together a lot of the time when I'm home. So it's an opportunity to show that the barbecues aren't always just sort of a set food style, set food type, and I quite like that primal everyday style of cooking, like over fire kind of feel. So for me that's just a bit of fun. It's a hobby of mine, shall we say.
So how often would you say you cook with it? And you're using, today we've got, like you say, chicken and veg and stuff to make. Is that sort of stuff you've done with cooking it?
Yeah, so I mean, I use mine pretty versatile really. So I would cook like fish, local produce as much as possible, you know, so like go down the sort of the kipper factory in Peel, Robinson's, those kind of areas to pick up local food, use local vegetables where I can to just go out and enjoy it. I probably use the Traeger 3, 4, 5 times a week sometimes, undercover most of the days, you know, even in the summer, but I just have some fun, just enjoy that sort of content making in terms of eating healthy, eating well, and showing what you can do and how versatile they are. So it's just a bit of fun for me, like I say, a hobby. So yeah, I use it quite often, and just here to show what I do and how I do it, and just have a bit of fun.
So today is World Diabetes Awareness Day, and you're saying it's 21 years today since you were diagnosed,
yeah. So yeah, as you say, World Diabetes Day, and 21 years to the day. So I was diagnosed on the 14th of November 2001. At that point didn't really know what diabetes was, and I think my mum and dad took a lot of it on board. I didn't take so much, but I was 10 years old at the time, so it gave me a lot to think about, but also it's given me sort of a routine, it's given me a mission, it's given me a family, a community and a team, and a reason to do what I do. And okay, every day isn't easy, I'm not trying to tell everybody that it is, but it's given me something to chase, you know, something to put my maybe frustrations, my energy into, to make the world a better place. Every day I want to make the world a better place. That's for people without diabetes as well, but especially with diabetes, I want to affect change. I want to put a smile on their face. It takes 30 seconds for me to speak to somebody. You know, if someone's struggling, you take a couple of seconds just to try and make them smile, whether that's test their blood once more a day, feel a bit more positive about the condition. I want to just change the way that people perceive diabetes within and without, within the community and outside the community. So whether that's the misconceptions that we hear all the time about diabetes, I just want to make a change, and that starts small or it can be big, but any change is good.
Going back 21 years then, you're obviously elite sports athlete term. As somebody who likes sports, I don't know why I use that term, but let's stick with it. But were you growing up then, was there anybody that you sort of were able to look at and go, that's somebody who has the same condition as me, or was that something that was ever there?
Well, at the time, you know, I didn't really remember seeing anybody who had diabetes in the press. Obviously it's more prevalent now, there's a lot more, but at that point there wasn't really that person to look up to, and that's not what I want to be. I don't do it for a sort of self power, you know. I don't do it because I want other people to class me as an inspiration, but when I was growing up I didn't have that person, and I want to be that person, or at least help other people with this condition. So now we have so many more sports stars, you know, Henry Slade and those guys living with type 1 diabetes. So we've got names out there of professional athletes who are doing more and more for the condition, but there was nobody really to look up to. So for me now to sort of try and give an inspiration to, I don't really class that as myself, but to bring an awareness to help inspire people, because I get as much inspiration out of a 15, 16-year-old with type 1 diabetes from a 30-year-old with type 1 diabetes. Seeing other people, that's what gives me power. Seeing other people thrive with the condition makes me inspired. So that's where I grab my motivation and inspiration from as well. So if I can help other people and they can help me, then that's something that is a duty and a privilege for me.
Just tell us about the team then. So it's all type 1 diabetes team?
Yes, so everybody on the team is type 1 diabetic. We have 18 riders from varying countries. We've got riders from all over the world, and we ride in the second division of professional cycling. So we ride as Pro Tour, Pro Continental, which is high level. So we can race some of the biggest races in the world. I've raced some of the biggest races in the world, which is a privilege for me. But getting on the bike every day to affect awareness, our team motto is to inspire, educate and empower everyone around the world affected by diabetes. They talk about high numbers of people affected by diabetes in the next 20 years, which is something that we want to make people aware about. So it's increasing in awareness and making sure that people are aware of their health, of everything. Then that's something that we do as a team around the world. We go and do outreach events wherever we're racing. I've just got back from Japan. We did outreach events there. It means we can help affect change in the Japanese sort of circle as well. So we try to do as much when we're there. I raced the Tour of Rwanda a couple of years ago. I'm supposed to race it there again this year. So we go there and we affect change, and we try to get into the community to show what's possible, but also try and affect change. So in Rwanda, for example, we do work with the government to try and allow them to help their community. So they've committed to X amount to support their diabetes community. So that's humbling for me to be able to affect that change. And with a team with 18 riders with type 1 diabetes, that only enhances that power.
Would you say there's anything that you do differently to other teams?
No, people ask me quite often, is diabetes harder in cycling? And I think the hardest part of cycling is cycling. It's that trying to stay on the top, So I don't think we do anything differently, but I have to be aware of my blood sugars being in range. But I find that being on the bike, it's my boss always says it's $1 million drug that's never prescribed. Exercise is something to stay healthy, and to stay healthy is something that we can all do. So I find that if we can all get on a bike, all go out for a walk, everyone with diabetes or not, then it's something that has to be a positive.